Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and today's vlog is going to focus around a topic that I've been getting a lot of comments and suggestions and whatnot. People want me to go a little bit more into detail about my experience driving the 2018 Mustang GT. So if you have not seen yet, I've actually done two reviews, two of those in-depth reviews that are in my in-depth review playlist on my YouTube channel. So if you have not seen those yet, I highly recommend check those out before you watch this video through the whole entire thing. But basically, I had an opportunity, thanks to Walker Ford. They stepped up to the plate. I drove a 2018 Mustang GT. It was a beautiful orange Fury metallic. It's a new paint scheme for 2018. And then I recently drove a red, this illustrious red Mustang GT. Now, the orange one that I drove, that one had not only the track pack, performance pack, but it also was the premium edition. So it came with leather interior, came with navigation, came with Ford's new digital adjustable display with the speedometer and tachometer and everything else. And then the red GT that I drove, it still had that performance track pack, but it was a base model. So it had your traditional analog gauges, no navigation, nothing like that. What I could basically give you a little bit more in depth about the driving experience is, first of all, the fit and finish when you're behind the wheel is excellent. The quality of the materials are very nice. You know, they're using that nice soft touch material in places where your hands are going to be. I really like the driving position. I think compared to the Camaro or even the Dodge Challenger, because I've driven both of those as well, um, definitely not as many blind spots, a lot easier to see out of. I like the position of the seat with the premium edition, obviously. Well, with both, you're going to have in the premium edition the leather uh, adjustable, electric adjustable driver seat. And then obviously in the base model, you're going to have cloth. Both seats were very comfortable, very easy to get in and out of the car. Once you were in, they had just enough support and enough hold to where you're going to be held in place pretty well. Now, obviously, it's not going to be like a Recaro seat, which those are optional on both of the models that I drove. You can option a Recaro set of seats. What's cool about the Recaro seats in the Mustang that I personally like is that they are a single one-piece back. So the headrest is built into the back of the seat. I really like the look of that seat compared to the one that's, say, in this Focus ST, my wife's Focus ST, or my Ford Focus RS. That one has a separate headrest compared to the back of the seat. So I do really like the Recaros, the way they look in the GT if you order those. Now, I have not experienced actually sitting in them yet, but for looks, definitely two thumbs up. Like I said, once you're in the car, it's everything is very well placed. Um, when it comes to the clutch action I find is a little bit lighter than on the 2015 to 2017 Mustang GT. Now, if you remember, this is an all new redesign, sort of like a freshen up, not a total from the ground up. But one thing they definitely did besides tweak the front of the car and the styling inside and whatnot is they definitely made the clutch pedal a little lighter to modulate. So it actually was surprisingly lighter compared to the last one. You would have thought that they wouldn't have maybe looked at that, but besides having that extra horsepower, which remember the new Mustang GT has 460 horsepower. Now, if you're going to hold out and get the Bullet Edition Mustang, that one even has a little bit more horsepower. So you're looking around 475, 480 horsepower in the Bullet Edition Mustang. Obviously, that's going to come with a higher price tag. And then I know many people are waiting for the new Shelby GT 500, which that is expected to have well over 700 horsepower. So the clutch had a really great feel. One thing I noticed now, I would need to have a little bit more seat time in the car. I felt from a dead stop, there was a little bit of chatter, clutch chatter, um, when you were releasing the clutch in first gear. Now, I don't know if that was something just because the car was new or maybe something specific with that car. I noticed a lot more in the orange Fury one compared to the red one I drove. Other than that, once you get going, the clutch is really easy to modulate. It's nice and light. Um, the gearbox, I love the gearbox. It's got a nice close ratio shift. It's not too close to where you're going to be missing gears, and it's really easy to do the 2 to 3 shift. If you are a product of growing up in the 1990s, or the 80s, you would know with the Fox body Mustangs, that was always the big thing, was that second to third shift, not missing it. I remember lots of times I would drive my buddy Chris. He had a white 91 notchback, and boy, man, that second to third shift, it was hard to get it just right. And, we wound up using a Pro 5.0 shifter, short throw shifter on and everything. It was still a chore. With the gearbox in these new Mustangs, spot on. It's really easy to get through the gears. You know where the gates are. Great feeling, great experience. So when it comes to clutch, two thumbs up. A little bit of chatter. I'd like to drive the car a little bit more. Could have just been an isolated issue. Gearbox, same story, really just crisp shifts, wonderful to modulate through. The steering, I found that with the GT Premium, you can adjust the sensitivity of the steering. I really like that. It gives you a little bit more, options depending on what you're doing. I really like the way the electric steering is in the car. It has a nice feel, especially when you go to tip it into a turn. Um, it's a nice feel. It feels natural. It doesn't feel artificial. Um, Now, when you're in the car, obviously, if you've never been in a pony car like a new Mustang or a Camaro or a Dodge Challenger, there is quite a bit of hood sticking out, and that's something that you're going to have to get used to. But you don't feel like you're in a big car, and that's one of the main things I really like about the Mustang GTs. You don't feel like you're in a big car, and it's really easy to see out of, unlike the Camaro, where the Camaro is you're sitting so low and the sides of the doors are so high, you can't see out the back window. It's almost like being in a bathtub. The Mustang GT, I really enjoy it. When it comes to power, power comes in at a very low RPM, as you can imagine, and that Coyote engine pulls all the way through to redline. Nice, clear, crisp sound. I mean, they did work on that exhaust. It's got a great sound to it. It really is close to a Shelby GT350. Now, obviously, with the GT350, you're going to have that flat plane crank engine in that Voodoo engine, so that's going to redline at 8,250 RPM. But with the Mustang GT, the quad cam, you're still revving that bad boy out, and you're getting some great power out of it. Now, if you've been reading any of the reviews or magazines, I think it was Road and Track or Car and Driver just did a test between the GT with the performance pack, the track pack, and the Camaro SS 1LE. On paper, the 1LE walked over the GT. Now, quarter mile, 0 to 60, we're talking about a hair of a difference, tenth of a second. That could be down to driver, really can make that up. But out on the road course, the 1LE did have a step up. Now, one thing you should be aware of is Ford is coming out with an optional Performance Track Pack 2 version, which is even a little notch higher. So I think when you compare that to the 1LE, because the 1LE is one hell of an option car. It comes with that awesome magnetic ride suspension. It's got the wonderful wheels and stickier tires. So I think that, it would have been a little bit more fair to compare the 1LE to the Track Pack 2. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But if you don't care about numbers on a paper and this isn't like a pissing contest for you, it's a fun car to drive. It's a feel good car, like when you're driving it and you're hearing the sound of that V8, it sounds good. I'll be honest. When you're downshifting, pedal placement's great in it. You could heel toe downshift very easier than on my Ford Focus RS, which I did order a plate, a spacer that's going to bring up that gas pedal to help with the heel toe downshifting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stay tuned for that video. That's going to be coming as soon as I get it in the mail. Um, Other than that, all the controls, navigation works great. You know, I really like the Apple CarPlay and the Sync 3 system that the Ford uses. Now, when it comes to the GT Premium, I really think it's worth the extra price because you have a plethora of options to set up the screen, and it really enhances that driving experience. Um, you know, you get line lock in the car where you could lock up the front wheels so you could do a burnout with the rear wheels. Remember, if you do take the car to a drag strip, don't make a newbie mistake. If you're on street tires, do not go into the water box. The water box is located in front of actually getting to the tree. You don't want to do that. The reason why is because with a treaded tire, a lot of that water can collect in the grooves. You go and you do your burnout on the asphalt, on the tarmac, it's still going to trap some of that water in there. It's not going to do you any good. So go around the water box, set your line lock, do your burnout, and then go up to the tree. That's just a little piece of advice so you're not making any newbie mistakes when you get to the track. Um, but at the end of the day, I really don't think you could go wrong with the car. It's got that Mustang look. It's got that Mustang heritage and tradition. It's a great engine, great car. If there's anything else you want to know about it, please let me know. Drop a line in that comment section. You could check out my website, raitiesrides.com, and you could message me directly through there. If you have anything in particular you want to see on Raiti's Rides, let me know. I'll set it up and get it together for you. Anything you want me to vlog about in particular, if you want more information about the GT, or if you have questions about going to the drag strip for the first time, I am going to put some vlogs together about first time at the drag strip, first time maybe autocrossing, how to set your car up for the autocross event, and for a track day event. So make sure you stay tuned. If you have not hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. And like always, I'll see you on the next ride.